Hi, BrenTech here, where tech is made simple. So Firefox version 146 has just arrived, and this is now the latest release. So to double check, we have the latest version upgrade. We head to our main menu, click on Help, click on About Firefox, latest version in bold 146.0. Now there's quite a lot going on in this latest release, but first of all, just to have a quick overview as to the security patches that have rolled out. With 146, we get 13 security fixes addressing 13 vulnerabilities. And out of the 13 vulnerabilities that have been patched, 5 are high impact, which is rated just below critical. And thankfully, there are no critical impact or 0 days. So 13 security fixes have rolled out in total with this latest release. Now, focusing on what's new, and there's quite a bit going on. Now, the first new feature I have actually posted on previously, and I'll leave the video for this link down below and in the end screen because it'll give you a lot more information, but a quick recap for this video. And the reason I can't show you this in real time is because the feature is part of a progressive rollout. So it's rolling out controlled, but check the video out if you need more information, where Windows 10 users can now automatically protect their passwords, bookmarks, and more by turning on backup in Firefox. Mozilla says your browsing data is saved daily on your device and can be encrypted with a password. When you set up a fresh install of Firefox on any operating system for a new device or your current one, you can restore from this backup and pick up right where you left off. And Mozilla also says this feature is currently available on Windows devices and will be coming to other operating systems soon, which I think is a good move. And just take note, though, that this is on a controlled rollout, so you may or may not see it now. But check that video out. I have posted on this previously if you want more info. Now, just to mention the next new feature, because it's for Mac OS users, where Mac OS users now have a dedicated GPU process by default. Mozilla says this includes WebGPU, WebGL, and Firefox's own web render. With this feature enabled, Mozilla says fatal errors in graphics code will no longer crash the browser and will instead transparently restart the GPU process, which I think is a nice move if you are using Firefox on Mac OS. Now, here's an interesting one, which I think is a good move. Firefox has a feature called Firefox Labs, which is an experimental part of the browser with experimental features you can try out before they become default features. And Mozilla says with 146's release, Firefox Labs is now available to all users, regardless of whether they choose to participate in studies or submit telemetry. This means more experimental features are now available to more people because, as I've posted previously, if we head over to privacy and security and we head down to Firefox data collection and use, as you can see, up until this change, you had to have send technical and interaction data to Mozilla and install and run studies enabled for Firefox Labs to work. If you didn't have these enabled, it would not appear. So that is what's changing now. So regardless if you have or haven't got these toggles turned on, you still get Firefox Labs, which I think is a very nice move. Now, while we are talking about Firefox Labs, you will see that the lists and timer on Firefox Home have been reintroduced. And just a quick recap as to what this is all about. If we head back to our home page and we toggle on lists and timer, this is basically like a little to-do list, and this is a focus timer that you can set. I have posted on this in depth, so I'm not going to get too much into that in this video. Now, this was pulled from the labs. It's been a bit of a backwards and forwards process, and apparently there was a bug, and that's what was pulled, but it looks like now this is in testing again as a Firefox Labs experimental feature in the stable version. So just bringing that to your attention if that's something you were looking out for or had missed. Now, the next new feature is also on a controlled rollout. So I can't show you this in real time, but I have actually posted on this previously. But a quick recap for the purpose of this video. Mozilla says that you can now skip the results page and see direct results as you type in the search bar. You don't have to head to the actual web page. But take note, as mentioned, it's on a progressive rollout, so you may or may not see it straight away. And the next new feature is also on a controlled rollout, and it's for users in the EU, where I'm not. So once again, I'm just using an image provided. Mozilla says there is now a new tab, Weather Opt-in Workflow, available for users in the EU and some other countries, where you can now choose whether to enable location detection or manually search for a location. Once again, this is on a feature progressive rollout, so just take note of that. Now, the next one is for our Linux users, and it's quite an important update because Firefox now natively supports fractional scaled displays on Linux Wayland, making rendering more effective. So basically what this means at the end of the day, according to Mozilla, that text icons, menus, and cursors will appear non-blurry, positioned correctly, and render at the right size. And I think that's a nice move for our Linux users. Just to mention the next one again, Mozilla says for users of the English language versions of Firefox in France, Germany, and Italy, the address bar will now show English language suggestions for holidays and other important dates. So guys, those are the new features and improvements that are rolling out. And then we also get a fix for the time picker, which now provides, Mozilla says, full keyboard and assistive technology support. So basically, that's an accessibility feature, which I think is a good move. And then we get a change with Mozilla saying the colors dialog in settings. So if we head back to our settings, head to our general page, and we scroll down to where we get contrast control, and we click on custom and manage colors. Mozilla says that this dialog in settings now uses clearer color picker controls, as we can see, that keep each color sample next to its label. And the outcome of this, Mozilla says, it makes it easier to understand and adjust text, background, and link colors when using a forced color palette to customize the default text, link, and page background colors, especially with or without screen magnifiers. So basically, this is an accessibility feature, which I think those changes are a nice move. And then last but not least, we have a removal. And just to mention this quickly, Mozilla says Firefox has removed support for Direct 2D on Windows. So if you still require Direct 2D support, Mozilla says please use ESR 140 or higher. So guys, quite a bit going on in version 146, which is now the latest stable version upgrade, which rolled out a short while ago today on the 9th of December 2025. So that's more or less what's new in this latest release. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.